I was ready. Excited. Sunscreen on my face, bag packed with dresses for the dinners. It was meant to be a dream, but dreams don't always stay dreams. I remember the sound of the waves against the pier, the scent of the salt in the air, the warmth on my skin as I stood there, thinking, this is it. My son. My family. Together. Mom, there's been a change of plans. You're not coming on the cruise. We're just taking the family. We'll explain when we get back. I read those words again. 3, 4 times. My fingers shaking. The warmth from the sun couldn't reach me now. A change of plans. Just like that. And suddenly, I wasn't family anymore. There they were, Daniel, Sarah, Mason, Chloe. They didn't see me standing there. Maybe they didn't care. I used to hold him when he cried, after his first soccer loss. I raised him alone. Worked 2 jobs to give him everything. And now, I wasn't even good enough for a cruise. I felt my hands tremble. The world around me seemed to fade away. I grabbed my suitcase and walked. I didn't look back. I couldn't. The apartment felt different now. It used to feel like home. Now, it just smelled of loneliness. I opened the second drawer, and there it was, the blue folder. I pulled it out. The deed to their house. The one I bought for them. A house that was still in my name. They never bothered to transfer it. Just bureaucracy, Daniel always said. Later, he promised. But I realized. Later never came. It wasn't forgetfulness. It was convenience. I made a call. Mr. Mark. It's Helen Miller. I need to know my legal options. As he spoke, something in me shifted. The anger wasn't there yet, but clarity, that was new. I could hear Sarah's voice, telling me about boundaries. And Daniel's growing distance. The excuses. The hollow gifts at Christmas. It wasn't about gifts. It was about control. I was their emotional ATM, always available, always giving, never asking. I didn't deserve to be invisible. Not anymore. Mr. Mark confirmed it. The house was mine. I could do whatever I wanted with it. Sell it. Rent it. Modify it. But most importantly, I could take it back. I emailed Teresa. I need to sell this house. Fast. This was about my dignity. For the first time in years, I wasn't thinking about them. I was thinking about me. About what I needed. That night, I didn't cry. I made tea and sat on the balcony, watching the city. For the first time in a long time, I felt free. Not from them, but from the person I had become. I was no longer just their mother. Or the grandma. I was Helen. And it was time to find her again. I couldn't sleep that night. The world felt different. I sat by the window, looking out at the city lights. How had I let it come to this? The house, the family. It all felt like a distant memory. I thought about the years I spent building their lives. Every sacrifice. Every missed moment for myself. Was it all worth it? I couldn't answer. But I knew one thing. I wasn't going to keep sacrificing. Not anymore. The next morning, I called Teresa. I needed to act fast. I wasn't sure what I was going to do yet, but I knew I had to do something. The house, the business, it was all tangled up in a web that I couldn't ignore anymore. The email to Teresa was simple. I need to sell the house. Now. It's time to make a change. I didn't have a clear plan, but at least I was doing something. For the first time in years, I was thinking about my own needs. I wasn't just waiting for someone else to decide what I needed. I thought about the day I bought that house for them. I had felt proud then. I had felt like I was doing something meaningful. But now, looking at the papers, I realized I had been giving away pieces of myself without ever asking for anything in return. Maybe it was time to take something back. I met with Mr. Mark, my lawyer. He was calm, steady. I could see the surprise in his eyes when I told him what I wanted to do. Sell the house? He asked, surprised by my sudden decisiveness. Yes, I said. It's mine. And I can do whatever I want with it. It felt strange, almost liberating to say that. The house had been their home. They had taken it for granted, like so many things I'd given them. But it wasn't theirs, not in the way I had always believed. It had always been mine, legally. Now I was going to do something with it. I called Teresa again, told her to move forward. Find me a buyer. Fast. It wasn't just about money. It was about proving to myself that I could take control again. I needed this. I needed something that was mine. It didn't take long. Just a few days. Teresa found a couple, a young pair who had cash. They were ready to move quickly. I set up a showing. The house would be sold. And with it, I would start a new chapter. The morning of the sale, I walked through the house one last time. I remembered the first time I stepped through the door, holding the keys. It had been a symbol of everything I wanted for them. But now, it was just a house. Empty. I went back to my office, opened the drawer again. The blue folder. The deed. And I started drafting the letter. A letter that would change everything. Daniel. Sarah. The house you called home has been sold. It was always legally mine, as you knew. I've taken what's mine. I paused. Did I really need to say all that? No. I didn't. But I had to. For me. I finished the letter. Packed it up with a copy of the contract. And I left it on the kitchen table. I waited. I didn't need to watch them read it. I didn't need to see their reaction. What mattered was that I had done it. I had taken back control. The days passed slowly after I sent the letter. I didn't rush to check my phone. I didn't want to hear their voices. I didn't need to hear them apologize. But they didn't call. They didn't come. They didn't show up at my door. I wasn't sure what I expected. Maybe tears. Maybe anger. Maybe even regret. But there was nothing. The silence was deafening. I started to wonder if they even cared. I spent my days quietly. I painted. I went for walks. I remembered who I was before I became a mother and a grandmother. I remembered the woman who loved to dance, the woman who had dreams of her own, the woman who once believed in herself. But the quiet was wearing thin. Then one evening, I saw a message from Daniel. It was short. Simple. Mom, we miss you. The kids ask about you every day. Can't wait to show you the pictures. I stared at the screen for a long time. My heart ached for my grandchildren. But I wasn't ready. I couldn't go back. It wasn't about the house. It wasn't about the money. It was about respect. It was about me. I didn't respond. I didn't know how. So I let the message sit. The next day, another message came from Sarah. Helen, we brought you some Belgian chocolates. Chloe picked them especially for you. Again, I didn't reply. They were trying. I could feel it. But I wasn't ready to forgive them. Not yet. Not after everything. I had spent my life forgiving. And look where it got me. Then, a week later, I received a call. It was Daniel. Mom, he said, his voice shaky. It's weird that you're not answering. We're worried. I didn't say anything at first. Then I heard the desperation in his voice. We're coming over tomorrow. Can we come for dinner? The kids miss you. I didn't know what to say. But I wasn't going to back down. No, I said firmly. I won't be here. There was a long pause. Why? Daniel asked, his voice low. What's going on? I've had enough of being invisible, I said, my voice steady. I'm not going to pretend anymore. I've spent my life making space for you, and now I'm taking that space back. I hung up before he could respond. I didn't feel relief. I didn't feel happy. But I felt something I hadn't felt in years. Power. For the first time, I wasn't worried about what they thought of me. I wasn't worried about their disappointment. I wasn't worried about their hurt. I was finally worried about me. The next day, I received another message from Sarah. It wasn't an apology. It was a dinner invitation. We'd love to start over as a family. Please, let's have dinner at the new house. Just the three of us. To start fresh. I could feel their desperation. I could hear the guilt in Sarah's words. But I wasn't ready to go back to what we had. Not yet. I took a deep breath and picked up the phone. I called Daniel. I got your invitation, I said, but I won't be coming. He paused. Why not? We're trying to fix things. I don't need fixing, I said. I need space. I need respect. And I'll give you both, but on my terms. There was silence. Then he spoke. What are your terms? You'll see when the time is right, I said. I'm not a pawn to be moved around whenever it's convenient for you. The call ended with a heavy silence, but I knew it was a turning point. It wasn't long before I received another call. This time, it was from Sarah. Her voice was softer, less defensive. Helen, can we talk? Just the two of us. I could hear the hesitation in her tone. She wasn't used to me standing my ground like this. But she was trying. And I wasn't sure if I was ready to hear her out. But I had to. For my own peace. I invited her over. I didn't know what to expect, but I knew it had to be done. When Sarah arrived, she looked different. Her usual perfect facade was gone, replaced by something real. She wasn't wearing her usual smile. She wasn't the woman who always had a reason, an excuse. She was the woman who had been forced to confront herself. I didn't want things to be like this, she said, sitting down. But I see now that we've treated you unfairly. You've always been there for us, and we've taken it for granted. We've been selfish, and I'm sorry. I listened, but I wasn't sure I could believe her. Not yet. I know I can't fix everything with an apology, she continued, her voice trembling. But I'm trying. I want to start over. We all do. For the kids. For you. For us. I looked at her. Really looked at her. I had spent so many years seeing her as the perfect daughter-in-law. The one who could do no wrong. But now, she was just a woman, broken in her own way. I wanted to believe her. I wanted to forgive her. But I wasn't sure if I could. I can't forget what's been done, I said, my voice steady. But I'm willing to try again. Not for you. Not for the house. But for myself. She nodded, the tears welling up in her eyes. I understand. And I'll wait. Whatever it takes. We sat in silence for a few moments. I could hear the soft hum of the city outside. It felt like everything had changed in that moment. Not just with Sarah, but with me. I wasn't the same woman who had quietly taken the back seat for years. I wasn't just a mother or a grandmother anymore. I was Helen. And I would never let myself disappear again. That night, I wrote a letter. A letter to Daniel. To Sarah. To the family that I had given everything for. I've spent my life making sure everyone else is happy. But I've lost myself in the process. No more. I'm starting over. This time, I'm doing it for me. I left the letter on the kitchen table, next to the empty plates. It wasn't a statement of revenge. It was a statement of liberation. A few days later, Daniel called. His voice was different this time. Less defensive, more open. I've been thinking, he said. I realize I've treated you horribly. You were always there, and I never saw it. I'm sorry, Mom. I didn't know what to say at first. I had waited for this moment for so long, but now that it was here, I wasn't sure if I could forgive him right away. It's not just about saying sorry, Daniel, I said. It's about understanding. Understanding what I've been through, and what I need now. He was quiet for a long time, then spoke. I get it. I'm sorry. And I'll do better. For you. For the family. It wasn't the perfect apology, but it was a start. And that's all I could ask for. Days passed, and things began to settle. It wasn't a sudden shift, but it was noticeable. Sarah and Daniel were trying, but so was I. It wasn't just about what they could do for me, but about what I could do for myself. I wasn't holding on to the past anymore. The house, the arguments, the feeling of being invisible, it was all behind me now. But I knew there was still work to be done. I spent the next few weeks focused on me. I went back to my painting, something I hadn't done in years. I enrolled in a class. I started traveling more. For the first time, I was doing things that made me happy, not things that were expected of me. I started to feel whole again. Then one day, I received a message from Daniel. It wasn't a long one, but it was enough. Mom, I know things are still strained, but I wanted to say thank you for everything. I'm learning. I'm growing. And I'm really proud of you. It wasn't perfect, but it was real. And that's all I could ask for. The next few months weren't easy. We had our ups and downs. But we were learning to communicate, to set boundaries, to respect one another. It wasn't about going back to how things were. It was about moving forward together in a new way. One afternoon, Sarah called me. Helen, she said, we've been thinking, and we want to invite you to dinner, all of us. But this time, it's different. It's not just about the family. It's about you. I thought about it for a moment. I had been hesitant, but I was ready. Not because I had to be, but because I wanted to be. When I arrived at their house, it was different. It wasn't the same place I had once walked into, full of memories of the past. It was a new home, in a sense. Smaller, yes, but it felt like they were trying. They were working on themselves. We sat down to dinner, and for the first time in years, it felt like we were a family again. Not perfect, but real. As the night went on, I realized that this wasn't just about forgiveness. It wasn't about forgetting what happened. It was about acknowledging the past and choosing to move forward. And that's what we were doing. Together. By the end of the evening, we were laughing. The kids were running around, showing me their latest drawings. It was chaotic, but it was good. I hadn't felt that warmth in so long. But this time, I wasn't just the mother or the grandmother. I was Helen. And I was exactly where I needed to be. A few weeks later, Daniel called again. I've been thinking about what you said, he told me. We need to create a new family dynamic. A better one. One where we all matter. I smiled. It wasn't the easy road, but we were on it. Together. And so, we began to build something new. Something better.